Welcome back, my friends. This is Sushant Ishmani, founder and CEO of 3 Touchpoints, a full-service web analytics consulting firm based out of Pennsylvania, USA. First of all, I would like to welcome you all in our first and exclusive blog series on optimizing your e-commerce business using your in-house web analytics solution. Those of you who are new to this series, I would highly recommend that you look at our previous blog post after you complete watching this video. So before we delay further, let's start with another interesting topic of this week. The question we are going to discuss in this video was asked to me by an e-commerce manager working with a small apparel brand in the North America market with an annual revenue of less than $30 million. This apparel brand believed in the power of the data, and they've been constantly optimizing their website. They have been constantly running a lot of optimization projects since their store launch, but with no success. After trying multiple times, they decided to cut down their optimization budget by 30% and focus on the basic health metrics of the business. And when I met the e-commerce manager of this apparel brand, he asked me this question during the lunchtime. Most of the analytics-driven optimizations in the past didn't result in any significant ROI. So we've decided to spend less time doing deep dive analysis and focus more on the basic health metrics and making sure we are meeting our monthly and quarterly goals. Do you have any suggestions for us? This question reminded me of a very important quote, that is, success is 99% failures. It's true that oftentimes the suggested optimizations doesn't return the expected returns. But that doesn't mean that the brand and retailer sit quietly and wait for the disaster to happen. The only way to survive in the online world is to constantly optimize based on the change in the visitor behavior. I've seen multiple optimization projects in the past which didn't result in any significant ROI and caused a lot of frustration among the e-commerce team and eventually resulted in decline in the team credibility in front of senior management. Here are some of the common mistakes performed by the e-commerce teams while executing the optimization projects. Number one, most of the findings from the web analyst were not properly verified and discussed with the e-commerce team. The team rushed towards an optimization plan without verifying the source of the issue and the impact on the monthly and quarterly goals. Number second, the e-commerce team doesn't spend enough time coming up with the alternatives to fix the issues. Oftentimes, they restrict themselves to maximum 1 or 2 alternatives, which are usually not accompanied with an ROI model. Number 3, still, majority of the online players in the industry don't believe in testing and targeting approach, in the absence of which the team wastes ridiculous amount of resources without any significant returns. Number 4, once the changes are published to production, there's always an expectation of immediate results. For some reason, every client I've worked in the past expects a result in first 1 or 2 weeks. And if it's not there, they assume the project to be a failure. Number 5, every client I worked in the past asked for the benchmark data. But if you ask them to benchmark their own data before starting any optimization project, they either forget it or don't feel a need for it, or even if they collect it, they don't collect it properly. Number 6, some optimization project involves changes in the reporting business rules, which results in either discontinuity of the trend or change in the average conversion numbers. In both cases, the amount of discomfort it causes to the team is enormous. The reason behind this discomfort is the poor planning in regards to rule creation and publishing. If being an e-commerce player, you have performed some of these optimization mistakes, here are some of the tips for your e-commerce team to create a result-oriented optimization plan. Number one, verify the source of your issue and measure the impact. Again, verify the source of the issue and measure the impact. Every new finding from your web analyst should be verified with a microscopic eye. Here are the 3 questions you should ask your web analyst. Number 1, why is it a problem? Number 2, when it started happening? Number 3, what if we don't act on this problem immediately? Unless you get the satisfactory answers to the above questions, do not rush towards the optimization plan. Here are some of the reasons why you shouldn't rush. Number 1, sometimes the problem is seasonal or caused by some promotional offer ran by your merchandising or marketing team on the website, but do not have any negative impact on the quarterly and yearly business goals. Sometimes the problem is caused by incorrect business rules implemented by your project team. Number 3, sometimes the problem is actually not a problem but a lack of understanding about the site structure. Number 4, sometimes the problem is caused by the sudden change in the visitor behavior after a major site upgrade. Number 5, sometimes the problem is caused by recessionary forces, and I hope most of your websites have been impacted over the last 2 years because of this enormous economic slowdown or slump in the North American market. Last but not the least, sometimes the problem is caused by the cut down in the marketing spend. So once the problem is verified, the next step is to measure the impact on key conversion metrics and visitor behavior. If the percentage of impact is very minimal and can be ignored in the short term, do not waste your precious resources on it. But if the impact is significant and could deviate the brand from its quarterly and monthly goals, invest your precious resources on it. Second tip for you is benchmark the current state of your business. Once the problem is verified and the impact analysis is performed, the next step is to benchmark the current state of your business by noting down the data against key conversion metrics and traffic trends. Number 3, which is a very important point, create an ROI focused optimization plan. I'm again repeating, create a ROI focused optimization plan. Once the data is benchmarked, it's a time to create an optimization plan with the following data elements. Number 1, problem definition. Describe your problem in detail, identify the root cause of the problem, and do a thorough impact analysis. Number 2, solution. While you're describing the solution of your problem, make sure you look at other alternatives too. Based on my experience, I would highly recommend identify at least 3 alternative approaches and determine the impact on your key conversion metrics.